Okay, I'm gonna walk through this tool that was created to add the raster classes for viewshed validation. So we have this viewshed here that was generated off of DEM. It's just zeros and ones, and in this case it's in a geodatabase. You can see here it's a file geodatabase raster, which that's fine. I wanted to work with TIFFs originally, but it turns out TIFFs are limited in terms of how the attribute table is maintained and updated. So you're going to want to go with a file geodatabase and using geodatabase rasters instead. It just turns out ArcGIS works with the attribute tables on those much better. So I want to add some classes. Like right now there's the default classes of value and count. So I'm going to use this tool that I created called add view validate classes. So you see that here, and we'll input that viewshed there, and then we're going to give it a unique name. So we could just call it whatever we want. I'm going to just give it a bigger number here just to make sure I haven't duplicated it with any existing ones. And I'm going to go ahead and run that tool. Okay, that's done running, and we can see just immediately in the symbology of the table of contents we have our 4 different validation classes. And then we'll open that attribute table and we can see there's the 4 classes in the attribute, the additional classes in the attribute table. Specifically there's class name, and we have colors here as well. And you'll notice that the count is actually 2 for these 2 new classes, beyond 0 and 1. For seen and unseen, those are just dummy pixels that are required in order to be able to create this attribute table without, you can't have no values there. So they're like dummy on the edge, not even a part of really this interior area that we're going to be validating. And so we'll go ahead and zoom in to like an area that's considered not visible. We'll click on imagery, pixel editor. Oops. Let's do that again. Pixel editor. And we can close this up here. And then we're going to go from non-visible to, let's try to go to seen. So we'll go to non-visible to seen. And you can just click individual pixels. As you can see, that doesn't cover very much area. So we're going to try and do a whole region using this region tool, which is a little easier. And so now we just reclassified a whole bunch of pixels, and we're going to save that. And then if we check our counts, we're like, oh, this did not update. I just converted a bunch of non-visibles to seen. And it didn't update. So what we really need to do is open a Python window. And if you don't have one open, you can just go to, it's under analysis, and then open the Python window there. And we're going to run this command right here. But we're going to update the raster to be the one we're working with. And what that's going to do is rebuild or update the attribute table without overwriting it. We don't want to overwrite it. So you can see an example of that up here, but we're leaving that out because the default is to not overwrite it. So we're going to go ahead and do that. So I just did it, and now we can see we've updated to 1409 pixels that are seen now. So that does appear to work, and could be a good workflow for validating viewsheds.